Hello, this is Dr. Hui Liu from San Jose, California, United States. My email is ibridgepy@gmail.com. IBridgePy is an easy-to-use Python platform to help traders to build algorithm trading robots. It can backtest and live trade with interactive brokers, Robinhood, and TD Ameritrade. You can download IBridgePy from www.ibridgepy.com. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel because more tutorials are coming.
I'm going to give you a brief introduction to Pandas DataFrame. The reason I'm going to talk about Pandas DataFrame is that IBridgePy uses Pandas DataFrame heavily. For example, if you want to request historical data from brokers, either interactive brokers or TD Ameritrade or Robinhood, the return of the function is a Pandas data frame. So, and then if you want to do data manipulations, then you need to know how to handle data frame. So you need to get familiar with basic data frame operations. For example, how do I know the price of some day? And how can I create a new column? How can I create technical indicators? A lot of things. All of these things you can use data frame functions. That's why I'm going to talk about Pandas data frame. On Pandas data frame, Pandas actually is a very popular Python package, and data frame is an object in Pandas. If you go to this URL, there is a great tutorial. It takes 10 minutes for you to understand the basic ideas about data frame. However, in this tutorial, I will focus on the operations related to algorithm trading. So the following steps will be in the demo. The first one is I will use Jupyter Notebook to run IBridgePy and then get historical data from interactive brokers. Then I will get a Pandas data frame, which has the historical data of SPY, which is the ETF tracking SP500 index. And I want daily bar go back to 1 year for a basic data analysis job. Then I will use a machine learning skill to build a price prediction model, which is use yesterday's price to predict tomorrow's price. And then after I have the model, I will make plots to show data to give you a real-time demo. So in this screen, I have opened the folder of IBridgePy, and the Jupyter notebook I'm going to demo is called Pandas Data Frame Tutorial. Open this one. It will show up like this. So Pandas Data Frame Tutorial notebook. So let me run it one by one and explain what I plan to do. So the first line, from Trader Factory import build active trader IB. So I imported a function called build active trader IB so that I can create a trader and get connected to IB already. And it's active, so you can use this object to request historical data or anything else. But in this demo, I'm going to request historical data. The next line is to import the symbol. Because in request historical data, you can see here, I need to use symbol to define the contract. In this demo, I'm going to demo SPY. SPY is the ETF to track SP500 index. The next line is here. Oh, let me run it one by one. So import, successful, import symbol successful. The next line is to create an object by running build active trader IB and put in the demo account IB account code. Of course, at this moment, I need to have my TWS or IB gateway open so that this object T can get connected to IB to request historical data. So let me run it. It's successful, which means I have an object, an active object get connected to interactive brokers already. Then the next line is I want to use this object to request historical data of SPY. I want the daily bar, so I put 1 day. And I want to go back for 1 year, so I put 1 capital Y there. So get historical data, the return is a Pandas data frame. And this is the Pandas data frame I'm going to talk about. And I will do a lot of manipulation on this hist to demo how to operate Pandas data frame and use it for analysis, actually. So after I run this one, if it's successful, means I have a hist, which is a Pandas data frame already. The next line, I just want to print hist to show it. Run it. Okay. So when you put hist, it prints out the hist, which is the Pandas data frame. In this demo, I just want to give you a basic idea about what is Pandas data frame. Pandas data frame, you can think about it as a two-dimensional table, just like you can imagine it is Excel, Microsoft Excel. But the difference is Pandas data frame have column names. In this case, I have open, high, low, close, volume. This is the column name. Also, I have this column is called index in Pandas data frame. Right now, the index is the date from 2019, 12/17, go to today. Today is December 15th, year 2020. And you can tell this is the daily bar, and I requested go back to 1 year. So this is a Pandas data frame object, and the name is hist. Then I want to understand more about this Pandas data frame and how to use it. The first thing I want to know is if I have a Pandas data frame, what the columns are in this data frame. So it's pretty simple. It's hist dot columns. This is print column names. And you can see it returns this one. Actually, this one is a Pandas series. Pandas series, you can think about this as a concept. For example, think about is a dictionary in Pandas. And dictionary, it has key and value. Actually, this one should be a list in this case right now. This is just, you can think about this one as a list in plain Python. So it has different values. And I want to, if I have a Pandas data frame, most of the time I want to know the index, because index will tell me for the time series, very likely the index is the timestamp. Run it. You can see this one is still looks like it's a list in plain Python, but actually it's called index in Pandas DataFrame. Okay, then what I want to know is show me a column. The name of the column is called open, and print it out. And we run this one, you can see the printout. There are about 250 rows. But the nice thing in Jupyter Notebook is it will truncated value and print out the first 5 and the last 5 and give you a feeling about how these columns look like. This one is just a print out a column. This is the open column. Then in this Pandas DataFrame, what if I want to know the first row in this Pandas DataFrame? The function to get first row is called ilog. And 0 means I want to know the first row. Just to print it out. Let's run it, it print out. And at this moment, the printout is a Pandas series. Pandas series, you can think about an analogy to dictionary in plain Python. So dictionary means I have a key, I have value. Another key, another value. Key value pair. It's just an analogy, but it's not technically it's not accurate, but it's an analogy to help you understand what's going on. Then this one is the first row. So what if I want to know the last row? Then we can do something like hist.ilog -1. This means I want to print out the last row. The last row should be 2020, 12, 15, and with different values. So we got column, we got index, we know how to retrieve a column, how to retrieve a row. The first row, the last row, and 0 means the first row because Python is 0 based, which means 0 is the first row. And then we know this one, and then what if we want to know the first row and the open price? So what I am doing is retrieve the first row and use this square bracket, get the column name. In this way, I can print out the value of open price. Let's say print out open price of the first row. What is that? Oh, 319 right there. And right now is, SPY just grow pretty good this year. Okay, I got the price. And the next question is, what is the type of index? So I use this one is a Python function to tell me what the type. And hist.index give me the index column, and then -1 means the last index. So this here is print out the data type of index. What is the data type? take a look. Oh, it's datatime.date. Datatime is a Python package. .date means this is just a date. Then how can I know what is the price of, for example, today, and I want to print out that row. I don't want to use the last row, but this time I want to specify by date. What I'm doing is import datatime as DT. It's just a convention. And then I use a Pandas DataFrame function called lock. When I put lock, I can put the value of index into this square bracket to get the exactly row by using the index. So let me repeat. .lock is a Pandas DataFrame function, and dt.datetime, dt.date, and give a date to specify which row I want to display. And by this, I will print out the row of December 15th. Yes, I got this one. Open, high, low, price, close, volume, and date. This one is, so print out the prices of December 15th, 2020. Then I want to do some manipulation. Right now, I want to do analysis. The goal of this analysis is to see if I can use yesterday, actually the yield from yesterday, to predict the yield of tomorrow. So what I want to know, for example, if from yesterday the price drops, will tomorrow go up or the price go down? That's the goal. If you see my tutorial about buy low, sell high strategy, this is come from here actually. So what I need to do, what I really want to do is add a column. This column is not a brand new column, but it is a column from the close column. However, I want to make a shift, and shift go up. So I put dot shift. Dot shift is a Pandas DataFrame function. It's just a shift value in a column. Here, the column to be shifted is the close column, and I gave it a new name called close yesterday, which means the price of yesterday, close price of yesterday, but I put into the same row. Okay, let's run it to see how it goes. Run it and then print it out. So you can see I created a new column called close price yesterday. Let's check it out. So yesterday's price close is this one, and it goes to here. And right now it goes to the same row with today's price, but this value is the close price of yesterday. The reason I'm doing this is in machine learning models, I must put the predictor values into the same row so that I can do a prediction using artificial intelligence models. We will see later. So this one is add a new column, and okay, just add a new column there, and call it close yesterday. So we have a close price yesterday. It may not make sense for you right now, but keep going, you will find out it makes perfect sense later. So we have a new column, which is called close yesterday. However, what I really want to know is the yield from yesterday. The function so I want to add a new column called yield yesterday. The yield, which is the definition of yield yesterday, is the close price, which is this price, minus close price yesterday, divided by the price of yesterday's close. So this one will be a percentage number, which is calculated by 369.59 minus 364.66 divided by this one. So it tells me the percentage of price change from yesterday to today. Let's run it and print it out. So we can see the yield, which is percentage right now from yesterday. So here you can see 0.013519, which means the close price compared to yesterday's close price goes up by 1.35 percentage. So this one is percentage here. And NaN, which means not a number in Pandas DataFrame, because we shift close price by move down one shift. So there's no number. It moves from here to here, from here to here, and there's no number after shift. But yeah, that's what we expected. Then another column I want to add is called yield tomorrow. This one is the price I want to predict, which means I want to look for the correlation between yesterday's yield to tomorrow yield. If yield tomorrow is positive, which means the price will go up, otherwise it's go down. And this one I use yesterday yield and shift downward. Let's see how it goes. And print it out. Yes, okay, it's right there. Actually, shift -1 means the whole column move up. So you can see this one goes to there, and this one goes to there. And this one is not numbered because there's no other row to predict. So right now you can see I have one row, and this row is the yield for, let's say this row. This row is the yield from yesterday. This is the row from tomorrow. And so I have two columns. Right now I can use some artificial intelligence machine learning skills to understand if I can use the yield from yesterday to predict the yield tomorrow. This is the goal for the next analysis. So first I need to do drop NA, which means in this whole Pandas data frame, there are not a number values. I need to drop them because the machine learning model cannot handle NA, not a number. So I want to drop them. In place equals to true, which means I just simply want to drop it and keep the current data frame. And run it. And actually after this one, I want to show you this again. So you can see the NaN row is removed. So everything is a number so that we can use the machine learning model to run it. Okay, the next part we want to is the machine learning linear regression. I want to use the easiest model to give you a feeling. I want to import a few things, and I'm using sklearn linear regression model. NumPy is another popular Python package to deal with numbers. Matplotlib pyplot is a plotting package, a package to plot a chart, all kinds of graphs, so that you can have a visualize the data to see how it goes. So I want to import all of them. Okay, so hist.shape, this is the Pandas DataFrame method. It tells me I have 250 rows, I have 8 columns, exactly same as here. So 250 rows, 8 columns. Then the next part is a machine learning model. I want to build a linear regression model using sklearn. This one is I want to use yield yesterday and build a model to predict the yield tomorrow. If the model is a successful model, then we can use yesterday's price to predict tomorrow's price. If accuracy is good, then we can make a lot of money there. Okay, and the model is a linear regression model. And I follow the instruction to build a model. Use model.fit. This one is the sklearn model. So it just follow the instruction to do it. And then I want to print out the coefficient and interception so that give you a feeling about this model, two numbers. And it may not make a lot of sense for you right now, but this model have these two parameters. So we got a model. This model is called a linear regression model, and this model have two numbers, this number and this number. The next part is I want to predict. That's the beautiful part of this model. What I want to do is I want to use yesterday's yield to predict tomorrow's price, actually tomorrow's yield, using the model I learned from the historical data. So I want to use the model, I want to predict. This is the data I have, and this is the predicts. After I run this line, I have a list of yield tomorrow's based on the model and based on yesterday's yield. Take a look and print it out. Oh, it's a long list. Okay. And then the next part, I want to make a plot to show you how the data looks like. So I use hist.plot.scatter. This is a Pandas DataFrame method. And scatter means I want to have a scatter plot. X is yield yesterday. Y-axis is yield tomorrow. And this one is I want to print out a linear regression line to give you a guide how the data looks like. And let's run it. Okay, the data looks like this. So the blue dots, you can see here is blue dots are yield yesterday versus yield tomorrow, and 0 is here. And this black line is the regression line. You can see it tilt higher this way, lower this way. The interpretation of this line is when yesterday's yield is positive, very likely the yield of tomorrow is negative. You can see this line, for example, this is positive and tomorrow will be negative. It means if yesterday there is price jump, especially this area, then tomorrow will be a big price drop. You can see here. On the opposite side, if today is a big drop, especially in this area, tomorrow will be a big price jump. That's the interpretation of this linear regression. So it means we can use yesterday's price to predict tomorrow's price. Seems like. This is the linear regression model, and this is the chart. Then the next part, I want to show you some Pandas DataFrame skills, which is to save the file to local, to save the Pandas DataFrame to local file. What I'm doing is import OS, and os.getCWD can tell me what's the current folder is. Let's run it. Okay, this is my current folder. And then the next thing I want to do is still the Pandas data frame. This time I want to save to CSV file. So I use .to_CSV, which is a Pandas data frame function to save the Pandas data frame to a local file. And from here to here, it defines I want to save this CSV file called myhist.csv, and I want to put into the IBridgePy folder, there is an output folder, and I want to put this CSV file into this output folder. Let's run it. Okay, then let's switch back to the folder. This is the IBridgePy folder, and there's a folder called output. If you open, this is the file just created seconds ago. And then we switch it back. After this line, what I want to show you is another skill is to read CSV file from local file and read it and build a Pandas data frame. So this is the opposite way. This time I have to import Pandas as PD because read CSV file is a Pandas function. So I use Pandas read CSV file, and this is the full file path. Tell me this is IBridgePy folder, and the folder there's an output folder, and there's a file called myhist.csv. Read this CSV file and build a Pandas data frame. Here I give a extra parameter called header equals to 0. This means I tell Pandas that, hey Pandas, be careful, my hist.csv file has headers, and the header is the row number 0, which means the first row in my CSV file is the header. So let's take a look about this file. You can see the first row is not a number. Actually, it's a string text. And this is the header. And we don't want to change this one to a number because the following lines are all numbers and only the first row is just pure string. So we tell Pandas read CSV file. Be careful, the first row is a string and it is header. Let's run it. So we have a new hist. and print out new hist. It will be looks like this. Be careful, this hist is different than the previous hist. The difference is here. You can see there's no name because this index column, I didn't give it a name. And the difference here is this becomes a column. And this is the index actually. So the default index is from 0 and go up one by one. And because I didn't tell Pandas read CSV that I have the first column as an index, so Pandas does not know that. So it found a column. And in the CSV, you can see here is empty, which means Pandas does not know the name of the first column. So it gives a default name called unnamed 0. So you can see right now this is not an index, but a regular Pandas DataFrame column parallel to others. What if I want to set this column into an index? The function is set index. This is right now this one new hist is a Pandas data frame, and the function to set index is just set underscore index. This is the column name that I want to set to index. Then after this one, you can see unnamed comma 0 become index, and the index printout looks like this. And you can see the index becomes to the column of date becomes index. Okay, this is the brief introduction about Pandas data frame.
Thank you very much. For any questions, please send an email to ibridgepy@gmail.com. If you need any help on coding, please check out our well-known Run a Coder service. More tutorials are coming. Please don't forget to subscribe. IBridgePy is an easy-to-use Python platform to backtest and live trading. Thank you very much.